Hey guys, it's Brianna here with Angel T Black Pot Cook-Off. I'm pretty excited to share with you guys today some big news for this year's cook-off that actually really just means so much to my heart that we even have the ability to do this now. I'll just start with a big thank you though, to everybody who's ever been involved in our journey of Given for Trip, whether it's through the cook-offs, our toy drives, our diaper drives. Honestly, the amount of families that have been helped through our journey is just unbelievable, and I'm going to tell you, there's absolutely no way that we could have done any of this without you guys. So thank you so much for everything you've already done for us this far, and thanks in advance, for everything that you'll continue to do for us. Honestly, our family, this is a lifelong thing for us, so we look forward to many fun years to come. But just to, focus a little bit on this year and just one little change we're going to be making, but a really exciting change. Well, actually, honestly, before I get started, let me just, for those of you who don't necessarily know our family yet and or know our purpose and our reason or our why, just to give you a little background. So we had a little boy back on July 3rd of 2016 named Trip Anthony Latchley. Trip was stillborn. I was full-term pregnant just a few days before my scheduled C-section is when he passed away. To this day, we honestly have no idea, what happened, other than he was too perfect for us. He was too perfect for this world. On that day, our lives changed. Our lives were just picked up and thrown up in the air, and just we landed head first, and it was just a roller coaster. Our lives were changed, our hearts were changed, our families, and honestly our future, everything about it. And on that day, I remember thinking to myself, we're not going to get through it. There's no way I can get through this. Here we are 6 years later, and we haven't only gotten through it, but we are a million times stronger for it. And I am more thankful for what Trip has done for me and my family than I ever thought I could be. There's definitely a lot that has gone into our healing process. We are super lucky to have so many amazing friends and family, and I personally am lucky to have the most supportive and the strongest husband ever by my side this whole time. I love you, Colby. But I would tell you, one of the biggest tools throughout our journey of grief has been Maddie's Footprints. And honestly, that Maddie's Footprints is the reason why we do what we do now. So Maddie's Footprints is a nonprofit organization that covers all of Acadiana, and they financially support families who have experienced pregnancy or infant loss up to 1 year of age. Maddie's Footprint stepped in, within days of us losing Trip. They helped us financially with his funeral cost, and then they were there for me with my grief support, up until today. And it's just been, they were God sent. I met so many amazing, strong families through Maddie's Footprints, and I know for a fact that the families I met through Maddie's, their strength is also because of what Maddie's did for them. So that's how Angel T came about. We sometimes feel like we owe our life to Maddie's, because sometimes I feel like they did save our life in a way. And so it became our passion to make sure that Maddie's is able to continue to do for other families what they did for us. So all proceeds go to Maddie's Footprints, and it's honestly just a big family, a fun day. But what I will tell you is that while of course every dollar we raise means the world to us and to Maddie's Footprints, and I'm telling you guys, your support of our cook-off is one of the reasons why Maddie's Footprints is still doing so great today. But what means just as much to us for the funds that we raise for our cook-off is the fact that we are supplying this day of the year to let every family who's ever, experienced any kind of pregnancy or child loss to gather and to celebrate their baby and to just to have a fun day celebrating their child with their family and friends. Something that me and Colby have witnessed over the last few years through this process, we've met so many other people and families, and honestly, other nonprofits that that we didn't even know existed. And we've been privileged to become a part of these nonprofits and to witness what they do for families as well. Child loss is a different type of loss. Whether it's pregnancy loss, infant loss, child loss of 15 years old, 18 years old, 28 years old. I always heard people say that, and I never really quite, why is it different? What about it is different? And just with my personal experience, what I've noticed, what's different about child loss and why it strikes somebody so much, not harder, but why it just strikes you and a parent in a different way than any other type of loss. And I've kind of realized it over the years, and it's, you don't just lose them once. Through the milestones that that child should have been doing, whether it's their first steps or, this is the year that he would have started preschool, or this is the year he would have graduated high school. As every milestone approaches that we know they should have been doing, it's like we lose them again. And it's just an ongoing grief that I wish not one person on earth can experience. And sorry, I did not know I was gonna cry this bad, but and so for me, like this year, he would be in first grade this year, but when I grieve on that and I have a hard time with that, then I can look at this cook-off and I can think about how many people we helped through this cook-off. So to me, Tripp is still making milestones. He's helping hundreds of families every year through this cook-off. And that's what keeps us going. It keeps us positive, and it just keeps our faith strong. So I can't thank you guys enough for giving us the ability to get this piece every year from this. But through our wisdom that we've gained over the years, through the families and the organizations that we have met, and because of you guys have given us so much support to raise money, so much more money than we ever thought was possible from this cook-off, we have begun to realize that why not help more? Why not spread the love? Why not share more? And after sitting down with Maddie's Footprints and them being 1,000% on board and being super excited and proud and honored to even be a part of it, we've decided that we're also going to continue to allow this cook-off to help other organizations as well every year. Maddie's Footprints will always be our primary donee for this event. We are always going to give back to them. They are going to always be our number one in our hearts, and we will forever support them. So the majority of our funds will always go to Maddie's Footprints. But whenever I talk to them about this idea, how else can we help other local nonprofits to make sure we're continuing to help all the families around Acadiana, they absolutely love the idea for us to be able to also take some of the funds that we make every year and give those to another nonprofit in need. So that being said, I think what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to change it. We're going to select a second nonprofit every year to give along with Maddie's Footprints. And it's honestly, it's kind of hard to pick, another nonprofit just because there's so many out there that are so amazing and help so many families in need. But this year, there is a new nonprofit in town that really has touched our heart tremendously too. They are similar to Maddie's Footprints. They help grieving families who have lost children, but they actually they support families who have lost children a little bit older than Maddie's Footprints. So just to kind of touch on Maddie's Footprints, they support families who have lost children anywhere from pregnancy loss, infant loss, up to 1 year old. The rescue group has helps grieving families that have lost children from 1 year to 18 years. And so in our hearts, we know, unfortunately, that the amount of families that lose children from 1 to 18 are just as high in numbers. And we got to make sure that all of those families are receiving the help that we got from Maddie's. So this year, along with Maddie's Footprints, we are also going to be giving partial funds to the rescue group. They're another amazing organization, just like Maddie's Footprints, and they're going to be very involved in the cook-off as well, just like Maddie's Footprints is. And I'm super proud that we even have the availability to do this, guys. And like I say all the time, this wouldn't happen without y'all. If we didn't raise almost, over $70,000 every year, we couldn't do this. So thank you guys again. And I'm sure I can speak on behalf of both Maddie's and Rescue. They say thank you too. We cannot wait for this year's cook-off to be bigger and better than ever, especially now that we are supporting 2 nonprofits and 2 groups of families. But honestly, it's honoring to know that our community cares this much about families. So thank you guys again for everything. Stay tuned for more updates to come about this year's cook-off that will be March 25th at Rice Arena again. Feel free to always reach out to us at any time for any questions. And thanks for listening to my extremely too long video. Sorry I'm always so long-winded. I love you guys, and thank you guys, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts.